Welcome back, my students, to another episode of Comet Class. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be finishing off our Grant Morrison JLA Run. And yeah, this is the World War III story arc / saga. And yeah, without further ado, guys, let's jump right into this story. Let's go. So this story pretty much starts off with Wonder Woman, Big Barda, and Metron basically heading to Wonder World. Now, we were introduced to Wonder World, I believe, and I think it was the Rock of Ages arc, and we haven't been there since. So basically, Wonder Woman and Big Barda and Metron basically go to Wonder World, and they learn that Mageddon has actually defeated all of the people that were there, with the exception of one, I guess, sole survivor. And yeah, so basically what happened is that Mageddon basically has this power to turn the people of a planet against each other, basically causing a world war, to say. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. Now we get to see that Superman and Orion and Mr. Miracle and a bunch of other people basically having a discussion and talking about what exactly is coming to the Earth and what they can do to stop it. And basically they're just pitching ideas back and forth. Now while that's going on, we get to see that Lex Luthor is creating another injustice game and basically is hiring the likes of Prometheus and this lady called Queen Bee, who has the ability to control her hive in a hive mind type ability. And yeah, it's pretty cool. We also get shown that General Alien, which was in the last story arc, actually comes back for this giant finale, and it's pretty cool to see him back. I wasn't expecting to see him back so soon. If you watched my previous video, you would know that I had no idea if General Alien was going to be in future comics, so I was actually pretty surprised to see that the arc right after, when it comes to canon and non-filler issues, has him right off the bat. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. And it's pretty cool that Lex Luthor was able to locate where General Alien was and bring him back. I'm guessing with the same teleportation device that they used to send him into that asteroid belt in space, that 6-mile radius type asteroid. And yeah, General Alien is not happy about that. Now we get to see that Queen Bee basically seizes control of the steel. At least that's what it seems at the moment. And basically Lex Luthor basically plants like a detonation device into the watchtower and basically destroys it, which is really cool. That they did that for this finale. And yeah, so we get to see that a lot of the Justice Leaguers actually head off into space because of this, the watchtower being destroyed, and at least part of it. I'm not sure if the entire thing was destroyed. But Superman basically saves Huntress by giving her a kiss, giving some air into her body, so that way she doesn't, run out of oxygen. And it's a really cool scene, seeing her be saved by Superman. And it's something you don't really get to see that often with Superman using his abilities like that and planting a kiss to give air. So that was really cool to see him use his abilities like that. Now we get to see that Prometheus basically meets up with Oracle and basically tells her that he wants her to join him and basically have a relationship with her, which was pretty weird. So basically Oracle tells him no, and Prometheus attacks her, basically saying that he has no choice but to take her out, I'm guessing. So we get to see that Superman and Steel basically take on General Alien, basically, and General Alien is just as tough as he was in the last story arc, so he's not going to be going down that easily. Now, there's a whole giant alien fleet, it seems, heading to Earth, and the Justice Leaguers are going to have to band together to try to defeat this invasion at the same time as Mageddon's arrival. Now, eventually, Prometheus actually gets in a fight with Huntress and defeats her, and we can see that Batman shows up at the very end of that, kind of challenging Prometheus to a rematch, because of their last match being Batman actually got defeated. Now General Alien and Superman are basically fighting, and they're hearing the news of everything that's going on around the world because of Mageddon's kind of like mind control type ability where everyone's turning on each other, and it's just complete chaos. And basically Superman's telling General Alien that can he hear like how many things are going wrong, that there's more important things than him and Aileen basically fighting, but Aileen doesn't want to hear any of it and continues to fight, basically saying that he doesn't care what happens to this world anymore. Now we get to see that Martian Manhunter basically tells them that he actually has came back from a mission and he's returning to his active duty, my friends, and basically starts linking them all telepathically, which is really cool. And you see that Mageddon has finally arrived to Earth, and yeah, this explains what's happening on Earth. He's actually here already, which is really cool. Now we get to see that basically Lex Luthor's being controlled by Mageddon. It seems like some type of alien device / creature is actually like absorbing Lex, at least part of his body. And yeah, we'll get back to that. Now we get to see that Batman is taking on Prometheus in hand-to-hand combat, and they're both doing really well. They each have their own tricks to go with that, and this is where Batman reveals to Prometheus, after he gets the upper hand, Prometheus gets the upper hand on Batman, and Batman reveals that he actually has programmed the ability of Stephen Hawking into Prometheus's helmet, because it was a helmet that wasn't, I guess, his original. It's kind of hard to explain. But basically, Batman erased all the fighting abilities that Prometheus had downloaded and replaced it with that of Stephen Hawking's fighting ability or movement ability. And yeah, that was a really cool moment, very smart moment, and kind of funny, to be honest. So Prometheus gets defeated and is in like an immobile state. So he's going to go to prison for sure. Now we get to see that Oracle is visited by Metron, who gives her a mother box to fuse with her monitors and her computers and stuff like that, and basically converts them into New Genesis, I guess, technology, which is really cool. I want to say it's New Genesis or Apocalypse technology. I don't know if they're the same thing, but you know what I mean. Basically, their version of technology, it evolves it on Earth. Now, General Alien is taking on Superman, Orion, and I believe Steel. And eventually Orion is fighting against General Alien, and he's using his dog to fight against him, which, again, a really cool thing. Now, Steel and Big Barda and just every one of the JLAers, basically the leaders, basically are fighting off the alien invasion, it seems. And I think her name was, Queen Bee? Her invasion, basically, with her people. Just trying to keep the people of their city safe. Now you just see that Lex Luthor is actually able to break out of the mind control that's happening to him with this creature, and the creature explodes with the help of John Jones. Which, yeah, I like that. Now Superman, Orion, and Martian Manhunter, just in general, like everyone's really going in. All the powerhouses are going in on General Alien, but they're not able to take him down. Eventually, Sturmer, I think is the name of the dog, basically attacks and tackles General Alien basically into like some type of anti-infinite void, which is, awesome. So I guess we won't ever see General Alien again unless he comes out of that void or whatever he went into. Yeah, so that's cool. I mean, he might have went into space, but it's like a pure white background, so I'm guessing it's some type of anti-infinite void, by what Orion said, but I might have that wrong. But either way, General Alien is defeated, and it seems like the dog did sacrifice his life, which was pretty sad. Now, Batman actually walks in on the Huntress, basically thinking about killing Prometheus, and this is where Batman tells her that she's out of the league because there's no place for killers, and that they're going to put Prometheus in jail, and that they're taking him with them. Which is, awesome to see Batman kind of like laying down the law and showing a Huntress how they do things in the JLA. And it'll be interesting to see how things play out in future story arcs when it comes to this run, and if Batman stays to that, I can't wait to see that. But eventually Steel reveals that he wasn't actually being controlled by Queen Bee, and he actually tricked her and attacks the mechanism that actually controls her hive mind, and basically just sets all the drones free, which is cool. Now, Mageddon has arrived to Earth. Like I said, they have confirmed visual contact. Green Lantern actually loses his ability to fly. I think gets his power ring kind of like turns off, and Metron basically saves his life and places him on the ground, telling him that it's not his time to die yet, that he has a future and a purpose that he needs to be here for, which I can't wait to see how that's going to play out in the future, because that's some foreshadowing for some future storyline / story arc. Now we get to see that Wonder Woman and Big Barda are still fighting against Queen Bee, and it's revealed that Queen Bee is actually vulnerable to the color red, and that she can't see that color. So they're able to do like some type of sneak attack, and Bart is able to land a hit on a Queen Bee, kind of sending her back to her home world. I guess with some type of boom tube device, like a spear that kind of like does like boom tube effect. And yeah, that's the end of the battle. And Barda basically took a lot of damage during this invasion. And yeah, but Barda is no joke. She's actually pretty strong. If you see my other videos, you know that she actually handled the weight of an entire continent. She wasn't able to get up from it, but her body was not completely crushed, which is very impressive. So after this, we go into the end game of the story arc with Mageddon, and basically we have Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and I don't know if it was Aquaman. I think it was Booster Gold, Steel, Batman, and Martian Manhunter basically have a plan to save the human race from attacking each other, which is to activate some part of their brain. I'm not sure if it's like the reptilian part of the brain or something like that, and basically to override Mageddon's mind control, which is cool. Now we get to see that Superman had went into Mageddon's machinery. Mageddon is actually a machine, which is revealed this entire time throughout the story of the JLA with Grant Morrison. It made it seem like Mageddon was some type of creature, but that's not the case. He's actually a machine, which is something I did not expect. So Superman is basically in this machine, and he basically gets tied up by Mageddon inside of him, and basically starts mind controlling Superman, and Superman's trying to fight against it, and Martian Manhunter is telling Batman basically that it's pretty bad, and that Superman might not have a chance to get out of this. Now, Wally, I believe it's Wally in this version, the Flash basically shows up with the sole survivor of Wonder World to bring people help to end this once and for all. With, I guess this guy from Wonder World is actually the speedster of their planet / dimension, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Now we get to see that the Flash basically explains that this guy has the energy they need to basically put their plan into action to kind of help the people of the world gain superpowers for just a few, I'm not sure if it's minutes or days, just gives them the power they need to overtake the mind control. That way they can fight back against Mageddon's control. Now we get to see that Batman basically is told by Martian Manhunter that he needs to help Superman. Like, Batman states that he's the only one that he feels like can get through to Superman. So he talks to Superman, and what I really liked about this scene is that Batman basically takes off his hoodie, or whatever you want to call it, his mask, and basically talks to Superman as Bruce, which is awesome. And he doesn't call him Superman. I mean, he does call him that later on, but he basically talks to him as Clark, which shows the friendship between the two, which is a really good writing moment from Grant Morrison. Now we get to see that Azrael, I believe is his name, goes up into heaven, basically because he wants to hear what exactly is happening in heaven with the present, and what the plan is if Mageddon is successful. And it turns out that the people in heaven basically are saying that they do believe that Mageddon will be successful, that there will be a whole new universe. So they're kind of making plans for this new universe, and Azrael says that he's going to fight with the people of Earth to try to stop it from happening. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Now we get to see that when Superman basically is getting mind controlled, that he's seen everything that's gone wrong in his life basically happen, I guess, at once or in order. And yeah, he's kind of having to live through that trauma and those horrible times. And basically, Batman's trying to get through to Clark, which is cool. Now we get to see that Aztec basically arrives to help Superman, basically tells him that his purpose is that he's actually a weapon to be used against Mageddon, and he uses this moment to say that he's doing his duty, and he sacrifices himself in a huge explosion, releasing 4D energy, which is an amazing feat. So basically Mageddon gets damaged from this. You can see him kind of like screaming, and yeah, basically Batman asks John what happened, and John confirms that he unleashed 4-dimensional energy and that his mind is gone and Aztec is dead. But he was able to hurt Mageddon, and he got vaporized, but he did hurt it. And this is where Batman basically tells Superman that, Aztec can't die in vain. He has to find a way to defeat Mageddon. And this is where we get to see that the Flash is basically telling the guy from Wonder World on what he needs to do to, give power to the people of Earth. So he does this. And this is where a lot of people from Earth head off into space to fight against Mageddon. Now, I have no idea how all these people are breathing in space. They're holding their breath. What exactly is going on? But yeah, it's a really cool scene. I mean, to me, it's a little cheesy. But it's a really cool moment, I guess. It just shows humanity is fighting back, just like they did in the first story arc of this run with New World Order against the White Martians. So maybe it was just supposed to be a callback. I have no idea what Grant Morrison was thinking. But yeah, we get to see that Superman gains his strength, and Batman is basically telling him that millions, if not billions, are gonna die. Because Mageddon's just like wiping out a ton of humans. And this is where Superman basically is told by Batman that if he dies in this moment, that he's gonna be hounding him in the afterlife. This is where Superman breaks out of his chains and basically says that he knows what he needs to do and that he hates when, Bruce lectures him, but at this moment he knows that he needs it. Just like all the other times Bruce does it, he does it only when Clark needs it. And yeah, it shows the friendship. Now, Superman goes to the core of its power, of Mageddon's power, this machine. It basically says that it's made out of anti-sun energy. And yeah, so basically Superman, it says that if he can consume basically solar energy, that he must be able to absorb anti-sun energy. This is where he tries to absorb it. And this could actually kill Superman. At least it's implied that it could. But it's revealed that Superman basically is, gonna actually survive this because he actually absorbed all of it. And it kind of like lights up powers. I have no idea if Superman's putting solar energy to negate the anti-sun energy. Have no idea how exactly this worked. I'll have to look into it. But at the end of the day, the bomb was defused basically, and this bomb was no joke. Martian Manhunter basically stated to Superman that if this bomb went off, this anti-sun energy, it would have actually wiped out half the galaxy, which is crazy. And Superman basically absorbed that energy, which is just an amazing feat, and it's just crazy to think about. And yeah, so basically they win. They win against Mageddon, and Metron, Orion, Big Barda, and I think the Wonder World guy basically leave to their home world. Now, the Wonder World guy, I'm guessing he's going to go back to Wonder World. But, Big Barda, Orion, and Mr. Miracle, and Metron, and all of them, all the new gods, are going to head back to New Genesis, I'm guessing, or Apocalypse. I think Orion's in Apocalypse. But yeah, so yeah, it's really cool. So they head back, and this is where we get to see Justice League basically just talking about what exactly has happened. And they get an alert about Dr. Destiny, basically one of their villains, doing something in Detroit. I guess trying to de-imagine Detroit. I guess he has the power of dreams, imagination, I guess. I have no idea. I don't know who Dr. Destiny is. But I'm guessing he's a Flash villain. Just Flash says that he's a lightweight, 2 minutes tops. And yeah, we get to see that, whoever this is says that they're heading out of here. So I'm guessing that, we get to see that whoever it is, they said, I'm out of here, guys. So I'm guessing this might be Oracle. I have no idea. It doesn't look like her. But whoever this is, basically is talking to the Justice League. This is where Superman basically tells Batman if he's going to come on with them because they are the Justice League, and that he knows that he loves it, basically working together. And this is the end of the, the story arc with them heading out to, complete this fast mission, I guess. Like Flash says, it's lightweight, so 10 minutes tops, I guess. But yeah, and that's the end of the story arc, the World War III story arc. And yeah, so overall, when it comes to the World War III story arc, the conclusion to Grant Morrison JLA Run, it was good. I had a lot of expectations for this story arc. To say that all my expectations are met, I would be lying. So I did think that Mageddon being a machine instead of actual flesh and blood monster, to me, I thought that was a little disappointing. I think it would have had more impact had it been an actual creature that was sentient and that. But it does make sense. It's like a doomsday device, and I mean, Superman basically says the doomsday is canceled or something like that, or delayed. So I mean, it works, I guess, as a joke, and it works as a, as an enemy. But to me personally, it wasn't what I was expecting. But overall, as the content itself of what we did get, very good stuff. Like I said, one thing about Grant Morrison that I do appreciate a lot, before I read JLA by Grant Morrison, I didn't understand why people put him on such a pedestal, but after reading all of his story arcs and finally getting to this point, his conclusion to his JLA run of, the JLA portion of this run, I guess, that he did, it was amazing. It was an amazing time reading through all of his story arcs, and just made me appreciate Grant Morrison as a writer more. I definitely will check out more of his stuff when it comes to other characters as well, because I hear that he's done, I believe he's done some Marvel, and he's done some DC books. So I'll have to look into what he has exactly worked on, because Grant Morrison seems like a really good writer. At least with the JLA run, he did a very good job. But overall, World War III, very good story arc. I would say that maybe it's either the best or second best in the entire run. Just fantastic writing, fantastic action. The characters were great. The characters acted like the characters, which to me is the most important part of a comic book. But at least a superhero comic book, I think the most important thing you can do, more than the action, is making the characters feel the way that they should. Because I feel like readers, basically, like us, we can tell when a character doesn't feel like the character and how they talk, and we know exactly what they would say in a certain situation. I feel like Grant Morrison really nails every character in the JLA, in that he wrote, and even the villains were pretty fun and unique, and I had a good time reading his run. But that's gonna be it, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to go check out the previous videos in this Grant Morrison run retrospective reviews, because each arc deserves a look at. And as always, link will be in the description down below to go check out these issues on Comicsology, or the trade paperback if they have it on there. I have no idea which one I'm gonna have to link. Maybe I'll link both. But yeah, go check it out on Comicsology. Grant Morrison is a fantastic writer, and I definitely recommend this story, if not any of his other stories in the JLA run, to go check out, because no matter which one you read, if you want to do them in order or not, you'll have a good time, guaranteed. But till next time, guys, God bless you. Until the next lesson, keep on reading those comics.
I am who I'm meant to be. I am who I'm meant to be. Over and out again. My future needed clarity, so I could see how you